As a child, you might focus more on describing yourself by age, sex, physical attributes, likes, dislikes, and possessions. The older you get, the more this self-story expands. It includes psychological descriptions, personality traits, your roles, and self-judgments. Your self-story might include both positive and negative thoughts about yourself, and inevitably, part of that narrative will be a self-story that doesn't paint you in the best light. Your mind doesn't care if the story is accurate. It just wants a story that makes sense, even if part of it is hurtful to bear. Your mind usually deals in black and white and steers clear of gray areas, especially regarding your sense of self. Another factor influencing your self-story's development is the mind's complex associations, discussed in Chapter 4. This can lead to comparing yourself to others. Traits or faults on which the mind judges you as less than compared to others can become part of your self-story. Or worse, even an idealized version of yourself can become a standard that you constantly compare and judge yourself against. When you're not hitting these ideals, that can also contribute to your negative self-talk. Isn't that something? Your mind can conjure a perfect version of you, engage in constant comparison, and find you lacking. Your dog doesn't do that to you. This can be pervasive for those who struggle with perfectionism and have rigid and high expectations for themselves. Your story of who you are can also be influenced by your view on how others view you. If you have experiences that made you feel rejected and didn't have your own in-group to be part of, this experience can be added to your self-story as another reason you're less than others. Finally, it may come as no surprise, but the types of relationships you had with your caretakers can also play a vital factor in your negative self-talk. Two significant determinants include how critical they were and how responsive to your emotional needs, whether and how they provided affection and nurturance, and were receptive to your emotional experiences. If you experienced any combination of these factors outside of the sweet spot, it could have played a role in developing your inner critic. Qualities you were criticized for while growing up can be a sensitive spot and be part of your self-narrative. My clients often express confusion when they have a loud inner critic, but nothing bad has happened in their lives. If your caretaker struggled to be warm and nurturing, it could have affected you, even if you didn't experience trauma. The goal here isn't to demonize your caretakers. Some of us indeed had parents who behaved in ways they shouldn't have. But many parents don't intend to cause pain to their kids. They're simply flawed humans with their own negative self-talk.